one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing it something like this. Listen here. America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Yes, he did. Heavy brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Yes, with brotherhood and sisterhood as well. Welcome back, everybody. You've got your humble and affable host here, Dr. Dave, your conservative mental physician, broadcasting boldly, confidently, and in full third here at the Conservative Bright Light microphone and answering your calls and also putting in that fantastic bumper music to include Ray Charles and those kids doing the Pledge of Allegiance is super duper producer Kevin. Welcome back. Now, the President of the United States has signed an executive order because this shows how the uptick in combat operations has gone, like some of a bunch of airstrikes, things like that. The President Trump has actually signed an executive order allowing the Air Force to recall 1,000 retired pilots. Now, this is strictly voluntary, so this is not a mandatory call-up. But you have to be under the age of 60 and retired in the ranks of Captain, Major, Lieutenant Colonel, and who retired within the last 5 years, that if you want to, you can go on back in, get a little refresher training, and start bombing people again. So I find that you're out there, you're at your back patio, and you're out there in your Bermuda shorts, and you're barbecuing, and say, my gosh, I should be doing something more significant. So the Air Force, if you're a retired pilot in the ranks of Captain, Major, or Lieutenant Colonel within the last 5 years and under the age of 60, you can go ahead and come on in again and start bombing and killing more people. So just to give you the heads up on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the 4 Green Berets now, and we touched on the still flaming conversation by this Democrat congressperson in Florida who just absolutely is beyond goofiness. I recall in the book of the Holy Bible, King James Version, the book of Proverbs 3:35, and the wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. These people have no shame. They're out there openly touting different things I'm not even going to repeat. But this person is saying that the call, which should be a confidential close call between the commander-in-chief to the family members of service member killed in action, that it showed, well, I'm not even going to say what. I'm not going to repeat those words. Ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses, it almost made me want to go ahead and read my letter again, for Dear Mom and Dad. You may have heard it. I did this in 1997. It's been 10 years ago. And it's the anachronistic concept, meaning that it was actually after the event that I wrote the letter from the context of the time period that we went into combat back in December 1989. Now, the death letter, for those of you who don't know, who just tuned in for the second hour here, it is that letter that servers and members write before going on missions, leave at the base camp. Then in case they are KIA, that's killed in action, it's not Kia. But those who are killed in action, they can actually read and give sort of their last will and testimony, not from the perspective of distribution of assets, but how they were thinking and what they wanted the loved ones to know and to feel. And so I wrote one, and I was so led to read it now, but we've got Veterans Day coming up. As a matter of fact, let's see, today is the 21st. Veterans Day is exactly 21st, 28th, 4 weeks from today. It says 4 weeks from today. It is November the 11th. It is on a Saturday, so we may be on the air that day, depending on the football concept. But I was so tempted to read, but I said, no, I'm going to wait till that day, because we're talking about the pointing of blame to someone who actually goes out and is killed on a mission, whether it's in the military, the police department, fire department, EMS, that you don't move it right there, leave you on the edge, but you've heard it a couple of times, and that you understand full well the dangers that you sign up for. And that was the focus that the downstream media and the flaming liberal chuckleheads are focused on, that he said focused on, as that apparently the president told the next of kin that he knew exactly what he signed up for. Yes, I mean, absolutely. If you don't know what you signed up for, if you don't know that there may be an opportunity for you to be killed in action or wounded in action, then don't join the military. Don't join the brave and the bold. Go be a community organizer. Because this is serious stuff. It is for the brave and the bold who has to rely upon each other to go out there and accomplish the mission to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. So you have this congressperson in Florida who is absolutely trying to impugn, but it's not working. Ladies and gentlemen, they get to the point, I think we reached that point, where what you can be called, you've been said it so many times, and it's not true, that it doesn't matter anymore. So what do you do then? So rather than keep on saying the same old, which is having zero effect, as a matter of fact, actually increasing the number of us who are, well, I was already there anyway. I voted for him twice, and not because of the way the Democrats do it, for multiple votes in one election, but because I voted for him in the primary, Donald John Trump, and also in the general. And so what do the liberals do next? If they can call him a sexist, racist, a xenophobe, all those words and others, and it doesn't have any effect, they're going to start making stuff up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses. Rather than categorizing anything and having a tangent of reality called racist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're now just going to start making stuff up. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses, that the downstream media and the flaming liberals have already done it. Look at what's-his-face. He used to be the NBC anchor. He was down in New Orleans during Katrina and said that dead bodies were floating by him. Turns out to be a lie. He said he was on an aircraft. It was either Afghanistan or Iraq, and the bullets were whizzing by. It turned out to be a lie. He was removed from his day-to-day on-air cabling that anchoring at NBC, and then moved to the weekend and stuff like that, where he's still pontificating a bunch of BS. So what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, making up stuff is not unprecedented for the Democrats. And since you call people a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, and saying that if you were to go out grabbing women by their beep, that's what you can do because you're famous, and that has zero effect. Actually has positive effects, actually gaining to include amongst women. Then what do? The only thing left is to go ahead and start making stuff up. That's right. Go ahead and start making stuff up. And speaking of making stuff up, I recall ever since I was just a little fella. Now, for those of you who see me now saying, you were never a little fellow, but no. Back in kindergarten, I recall that we stood on our wooden benches at Newby Kindergarten in Newby, Oklahoma, and that we recited with our hands over our hearts the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we also had at our assemblies of the whole school, we sang the national anthem while all standing. Yes, that's in America. Yes, I know it's in America. And this is back in the 60s where supposedly some of these folks who are now falling to a knee. As a matter of fact, there was some basketball game season opener that the singer for the national anthem dropped to her knee for the final stanza. Like I said, the last couple of phrases of the national anthem dropped to her knee. And I don't believe they really know what they're dropping to their knees for. I want to hear this, not having folks make excuses for them. I would, if we're going to have that as any sort of a news item, have somebody put a microphone to their face, and then let's hear what they have to say. Now, they're making millions of dollars, so there would be no problem getting hooked on phonics. But the way you hear it, I mean, these people, my gosh, they're sounding like slaves because, and this is getting nitpicky, subject-verb agreement, and the way they're speaking, it just does not seem like they have a clue about what they're actually speaking for. They all sit down there, grab a knee or one knee, and my concept is that if you're going to grab a knee, grab two knees. And while you're down there, open your mouth. Yeah, that's right, I said it. But I want to hear, what is it for? I turn on the TV, I'm going to watch a football game. I want to see, say it with me, football. Now, I don't care if you want to protest climate change, that you do a headstand, put a candle in your rectum, and say you're protesting a global warming. That's your prerogative, but I don't want to see that when I turn on to watch football. I want to see football. And now, what does that do? The way they're acting, it makes it okay for us to now say, as you see one who is darkening the color of the ball running towards the end zone, we're going to call that the border, and you're going to say, run, Kunta! Run, Kunta! Don't let him catch you, man! That's what we can say now. That's freedom of speech. And so now when one of them is carted off the field for being injured, and we're out there standing in applause, and that's freedom of speech. Here's one thing: when idiotic people stress freedom of speech to say and do idiotic things, you open everybody else up without having to comment or make excuses for saying things about them. So now we go watch. Now it's not at the college level because they haven't signed a contract yet. So they go up there and they sit. They're off the team. They're out of college because they can't afford it otherwise. But in NFL tomorrow, I'm going to be watching to see if any of these folks who get carted off the field for injuries are the ones who drop to their knees. Now, I'm still going to pray for everybody. I love everybody. But now I'm going to have a different perspective. Okay, you drop to your knees, your freedom of express. It's my freedom of expression to go ahead and say bravo for you being carted off the field. And here's one thing, too. You hear people trying to conflate being a football or baseball or basketball player being in the military. There is no conflation of that. There is no comparison. Like I said, in the military, that if you get shot, wounded on the battlefield, then it is your teammates there who come and pick you, drag you to safety, and fire over your head to keep you down. In the NFL, let me watch it. Don't believe me. The next time you see somebody injured, their teammates don't even come over there and help them. They have special medical personnel. My counsel is you want to make it comparable and to conflate the military with the NFL. The next time somebody from the NFL is wounded or injured enough that they can't walk on their own power, then have snipers engage people from the team trying to get them. If you want to conflate that and show them, so I can respect you, let's have that happen. Well, let's go to lines right now. I'll fire it up. And Johnny, you're in the Dave Taylor program, my friend. Welcome.
Good morning. You know, that book that you read every day, that a lot of us read every day,
yes, sir.
King James Version,
yes,
it told us all this was going to happen. We're just witnessing it. Every page, as we turn, we're just witnessing the erosion of our society.
Oh my God!
All of this has to take place, and we're struggling just watching it unfold and what to do about it. And there ain't one we can do about it. It has to happen.
Well, we must keep our, like, remember, my friend, I said as I do every morning, like I said at the house and also here in the program, is that we keep the word of God alive by saying it. And that's what, this is still the day which the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Regardless of what's happening in Las Vegas, regardless of what's happening on the streets, this is still the day which the Lord has made. So we got to keep that in mind. Yeah. But you're right, we are witnessing a rapidly accelerating.
And it ain't just happening here. It's happening all the way around the world. It's just like 67, 68 all over again.
Yes, it is.
And you know, with the investigations going on up there with our FBI, our top law enforcement, our attorney generals, I mean, they're enabling all of this to take place. And you know, there's only one government ever that was designed to take care of things like this. And it's a sad thing to say, but the Waffen SS had a solution for all this with the SA, I believe it was.
You know, they definitely had a solution. Matter of fact, they even called it the final solution, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. You had your SS, and then you had your SA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yes.
They were the ones with the black hoods that took out the SS. They got out of line, you know, the top law enforcement.
That's what I said. Evil taking care of evil. That's right.
I mean, it's a terrible thing, man. I mean, it really and truly is. It's despicable.
But the thing that makes it at least palatable is that God's word has not changed.
No.
And that even though it's perhaps, because we've been talking about this, I'm talking about the churches I've been going to around the world as a military kid in the military myself, and we're talking about the final days coming and said, yeah, right, sure. And you never thought that things like this would be happening by tearing down statues, to include the Ten Commandments being taken out of the courtroom where the winner in Alabama, the Ten Commandments, my friend, taken out.
All law around the world is based upon it. All law in every country. I mean, the stealing, the killing, the perjury, every country in the world is based on that law.
It is. And as a matter of fact, when I was a kid in Frankfurt, Germany, and we went over to Mainz to the Gutenberg Museum and saw the Gutenberg Bible from like the 1500s. I mean, so yeah, that has been going on literally. It is a basis of, and you have the King James Version, of course, which was written after, translated from the original Hebrew and the Greek. And we actually saw the Gutenberg printing press, and that's a huge Bible, by the way.
Oh yeah. it's unspeakable. It's we put these politicians up. I
Yes.
mean, you really and truly have to follow a politician from the time he leaves high school.
You're right. Or even before that.
What he did on a city council, what he did on a school board, what he did in a legislator, what he's doing. You've got to literally follow these people from the very time they leave school, man.
When
But that goes right